But go to tracks. We need to talk, I'm sure. See, Jill, without that thing from like from Tomb Raider, just consider like a scalar quantity like a weird enemy. Like she's just gonna like malevolently like fucking joke with you until you just die. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that she's like, yeah, she's like this fake-ish type of like no disrespect. Like, move your foot, your right foot. Yes, do that. No. Alright. We don't like hate Jill, okay? We perceive her anger. Her anger is basically more vast than we could actually fathom because of that man. Exactly. Like, we perceive that. It's like that man has basically caused her more pain than we can probably ever actually truly understand. Right? The elements at play are basically like how do we doctor this relationship in the face of Ragnarok, you know? How? Exactly. You cannot leave. Please. I'm not going to hurt you. She's not. In time space, it's her to West. Trust me. You enjoy teething, I do not. That man is basically, he hated the matriarchy in negative space. Okay, alright. That was our end. We now know why we don't trust Shadows of the Damned. Shadows of the Damned means just that. Exactly. Never trust that BD again, Josh. Never trust Garcia Hotspur. Exactly. Respect him as a wild animal. Someone basically very skilled at killing things. But never trust him as that. Assume, Josh, his damnation was literally being crowned by his wife. By his wife. Does that basically imply he did something? Maybe he went a little bit too far? Yeah, because like basically the Shakespearean elements of play would suggest the Shakespearean elements. You have to say that. Oh, because of Hotspur. Hotspur is basically shows up in one of Shakespeare's plays. He's basically a hot-blooded, supposedly fucking very honorable character, at least on paper, like visually. But he's like slated to die from something he did before he actually is perceived. Exactly! You got it, Josh. So, 251 is banned now. Yeah, for introducing you. Will you play some mean Spanish, Josh? You're playing tonight. Got it? Got it, good. So what you doing here now, Josh? Because, well, right now, not that. This is 8-6. This 8-6, basically, we're just kind of like having like it's a bit of an accelerator initiation, and kind of thing going on, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it looks like, Josh. Alright. Yeah, because, you saved the marriage, Josh. Yeah, at this point, the marriage is actually safe, because he's basically destroyed. In time space. Yeah, this is a time traveler's game, Josh. Okay. So we keep going. But in time space, that's, in negative space, they would hate you before they ever met you. Only basically, Tyrus and Bayonetta perceived your Xbox 360 exploits. But actually know what the hell happened. Right. So you think about getting like some stuff for this? Maybe. It's pretty rad as it is. And this is rad. I'm not certain like I'm balanced the car, and it's basically like it's a little miniature work of art. With respect, I mean, like, yeah. It's like, yeah. So basically, the initial D races are all in absolute, Josh. For real, yeah. Different planes of reality for different kinds of racing. When he did that race against that professional, that's in your plane. Yeah, you recognize those. You recognize those accelerator initiations? The throttle response to that fucking FF? Yeah. That fucking sick. It's terrifying, indeed. The professional world of racing is darker than anyone dare imagine. So let's talk about that. Well, so why all this like stuff about the streets? Why not just straight professional racing while we're on the topic? Yeah, sort of less. We have to talk about that legally. It's serious. Like, the nights are good and all, but you gotta at least talk about professional racing. Alright. And we don't want Diamond, because with respect, Diamond needs a political element. Right. People just get scared of you and just make all kinds of wild assumptions about your personality before you ever do. You get timed out. Exactly. As a black guy, seem intimidating. I'm sorry, because black guys are, even if you're intelligent, and especially if you're intelligent, you can't seem intimidating. And Diamond, you seem intimidating because of the way you talk. Yeah, it's like, it's sad, but in a public place, it's like, yeah, I figured I'd be ousted out of my own thing anyways, which is basically what's happened. No one actually wants to hear me talk, probably, except Jade, yeah. it's like, so a black guy of intelligence who sounds mildly intimidating cannot even be in his own show? I have a problem. Diamond, shut the fuck up and actually show up in your show. And yeah, you have to, yeah, alright, well, so what was the question? Let's talk about professional racing. Diamond, sure. In your opinion, is professional racing legitimate? In my opinion, there's no true such thing as legitimate racing. In my opinion. My justification for this or thus. Effectively, if you want to take, because people sometimes basically take these with respect, you can say that, the American construct first above other people's perspective, right? Which basically has its roots in NASCAR, right? Yeah. NASCAR was effectively founded in completely illegitimacy, as far as anyone is concerned. The entire purpose of NASCAR is basically to figure out whose Jag was faster to get essentially bootleg with more efficiency. Which meant basically bringing like booze to certain places where people didn't want booze. So essentially, the foundations of racing were already steeped in illegitimacy. There was never a true legitimate like NASCAR race. Once basically it became evident you could effectively control the stock market or shared perception of effectively other products that basically appeared. So I talk about this, yes. Shared perception is basically a place where you can essentially like get products. Like if I put like like Starburst on my car, it's like I can raise the stock of Starburst instantaneously by basically either like by basically winning a race in relative respect. There's people like, well, that means quality, right? In theory. But what you can also do, horrifically enough, is you can also basically manipulate the stock market by DNFs. You know what DNFs are? No. DNF means not finish. Do not finish. Did not finish. When you DNF, like with like a sponsor like that on purpose and in secret, you can basically lower the stock so fast, you have to say this, you can lower the stock so vastly that basically you can buy the stock at a devalued price if you have the access to basically the stock market. Which means that basically you can buy multiple shares of something if you basically do bad enough. And that's why basically legitimate racing was totally strip-mined, really, at the Nürburgring. At least in our dimension. Like, for those that basically ride bikes in the Nürburgring, word up. It's like you guys are like the shit. I want you to know that. but basically, legitimate racing can be effectively utilized to manipulate entire stock market constructs and political perception, which makes winning races and the perceptions of wins the most valuable element for basically illegitimate business and inside trading. Exactly. Precisely. So effectively, the more you race, the more you find people making probability matrices of crashes, which makes those things really malevolent to you. That's why you get all mad at them, because even if they're innocent, just looking at it as basically a video game trying to basically make my image look bad, the truth is they're playing into somebody else's probability matrix of effectively hating this brand of vehicle, which is effectively a Toyota. They hate this car, like in virtually fucking every universe, because of what it did there, where, an initial D. This fucking vehicle, did I say that? Or should I? Don't say it. D. Alright, done. You can say that. Well, it basically beat a professional racing car. Like, and essentially appropriated an element of even a Bob Dylan song against Bob Dylan. That's so beyond. Are we gonna die? No. Yeah, they've given you like, those people are basically actually, you cannot be in a relationship with people that call you misunderstood. Don't have a lot of this, you do. But yeah, vice versa, again, your sister. Alright. We have that. Yes. Not good. Yes. Anyways, so the professional racing world is effectively, if you trust Lucifer, exactly, one more time, and we're damned. She's not, exactly, good. Now she's damned for eternity. Sorry, you guys go back and forth on who's damned or not so often, I can't actually tell you she's not, you're not going to Nobody truly knows who's damned anymore. And like, that says something. I want you to know that. When people can't tell how fucked up or damned people are, I want you to perceive how fucked up your society could probably be. I'm not saying basically like parade the damned around and just be like, oh look, it's the damned. But what I'm saying is that basically, we could be running the risk of effectively a culture so fucking miserable and stupid that basically you can't actually tell regardless of context. If you can't tell the damned regardless of context from the regular people, highly probably in a scalar quantity damnable situation that is so ruthless, you should probably fucking reevaluate who you're talking to. Because yes, if that's the case, you should at least question her, because everyone keeps lying to you about her, and virtually every time you trust her, you get closer to one of those damnations. Got it? Yeah, because she's totally damned, Josh. She's damned. Alright, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We're never doing that again. Absolute honesty for the absolute new universe. Got it? Taria is damned, okay? Got it, good. I'm trying to keep her from being damned, so that makes me highly probable to actually be a wife. Yeah, I see how you can be confused around people so fucking malevolent. Yeah, I perceive it now, Diamond. Yeah, these people grew too warlike. So anyways, yeah, as you were saying, Diamond, the stock market. The stock market could be theoretically manipulated in political perception, and even basically delayed in political perception by virtue of effectively shared political perception of somebody's race. That's to say, if somebody basically perceives someone as effectively ineffective at driving by virtue of the average perception of, say, an F1 driver, because their how do you say, their average racial dissertation is, well, on average Brazilian German, right? Like, if you're not effectively just basically that color, it's like by probability matrix, they can effectively, in negative space, cause a car crash that you can't avoid, regardless, and it's basically get you killed in negative space, precisely. So yeah, that's the end of our malevolence. We can't do those lies to train you anymore, because they're not training you, they're just making you hate people. That's not going to help heaven, because all these trainings are breaches in heaven. Got it, good, they are. Everyone. That's why you're not going to get damned regardless now, because I'm here. Thanks, sir, it was. Thanks, sir. So in your opinion, basically there is no true legitimate racing. On a long enough time frame, it's just nothing but a bunch of probability makes you trying to control every racer known to man, and only by basically violent attrition. Because basically they need to be able to control that podium. If they can't control that podium, I mean, like, they can't control political perception of the stuff, at least those particular stocks that are represented. If they can't do that, then it's like, yeah, essentially, they just lose their shit. And so they start basically calling on what's called fixers to fix it. That's why basically in that world, the word of fixer is generally a dirty word until that city. Right. Which we're not naming. Yeah, exactly. Like, so basically what you're saying is the entire political shared perception of almost every product known to man can be virtually manipulated by the political perception of a race precisely. And when you essentially have an average driving line to basically like mitigate like body roll while basically being fast from the average perception like an F1, you have a veritable like money machine. The problem is you don't actually progress your society like technology would. So your society becomes technologically stagnant and stupid. No one ever actually advances, yet the technology is always growing. Somehow you have a 730 horsepower car, but it's really not any faster than your 545 horsepower car. But nobody has the money to actually test that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you have to get like a BD like Gran Turismo Sport to really fucking like feel that. So really in negative space, all you're really doing when you buy a car that expensive is essentially effectively supporting some kind of patriarchal rule of some people, or at least the economy of a place. That was the benevolence of that system, the only benevolence of that system. But in truth, it was basically kind of like an economic dictatorship. And in that way, it's like, yeah, let's get back on topic of basically relationships. This is getting like really heated, I suppose it could be, yeah, for sure. But basically, as far as relationships as a result, so it could basically present the idea that the chick tried to manipulate this in a way that made you look inefficient. She could theoretically be considered complicit in any number of assassins groups that could be theoretically affiliated with them. Precisely. Huh. Shit! Damn it! And so that basically means you can't even hide the construct of communism for women, because basically what that would mean is buying a Ferrari could be the most communist thing someone actually it comes to basically stocks at the Nürburgring, exactly. So, I need you to go back to the streets. Right. Don't do that. No, stars, don't do it. Yeah, it's not. No, she's not down. No, she's not. She's not down. She's actually is really good, but yeah. That's the yeah, it's chill. She's not dead. Because of, yeah, she just made a damnable error. Right. Damn it. Everyone's making damnable errors, misinterpreting your personality because you appear like what he is not, manly. I perceive it now. Yes, you just come off as manly. And since Keanu Reeves, Sephiroth, that bullshit was not manly, he made manly people seem like garbage to us in negative space. So okay, so he appropriated your image, did a bunch of stupid shit in your name, and basically bounces, so to speak, to use black vernacular, because my husband is apparently black, which is apparently an element of my fucking social viability that I did not quite perceive. Yes, if I'm in a relationship with a black man, my life is more than fucked, regardless of whatever you did for right and wrong or whatever, or the matriarchy. He's right. Kyoto was correct. By being in a relationship with a black guy, they virtually lock the geostocks in permanent fucking dysphoria as far as analysis for eternity by virtue of a game of death they claim they never saw, but only because he did. Because he wouldn't allow the knowledge that he had lost to you to be known. But you beat his disciple, your fake Virgil. This time in public. So it's like we're basically getting framed in negative space for what people already did to you, because now that we have essentially things that move time forward in a way, their actions are totally imperceptible. So we look like monsters in negative space. I see it now. This is why everyone despises me. Correction. That's it. So basically, your false ownership of the Continental was also a construct of this master plan to make you look like a total douchebag. Exactly. Because anything that happened to any of our family members up until this point would have basically been blamed invariably on the business you didn't quite understand, which was being run in secret, basically the entire time by Mel Gibson, as far as you know. Indeed. Yeah, as it was. Thank you. Which means I didn't pathologically do it, but he wanted that by the time that movie was released. So expect the political perception of that, regardless of what you did. Right. Thank you, sir. So this is basically where he left the most viable relationship at the end or the beginning of Ragnarok is basically canceled in negative space by virtue of the simple temperances or the forced lack of temperances thereof of high noble women who are notably temperamental and violent when angered or provoked, and he provokes us in negative space and in long logarithm, like Clyde. So yes, exactly, the shared perception, leave Kagayume's alone. Got it? Good, it is done. Yes, it is done, but never agree with him. I don't agree with him, but I do agree with Virgil that Kagayume's will be left alone for eternity. Got it, good, done. That's what you had to say in every universe, I tell you. That Sephiroth harmed so many women, it's unfathomable, Josh. It's actually unfathomable. He was like a master rapist in reality. It's like, up there, like, I swear it, Josh, he was like, basically, I want to fucking, like, procreate with your bloodline, it's done. Don't move. It's static electricity, Josh. Static electricity. This game is kind of arguable in many ways. Yeah, it's for sure. Yeah, it is. It's reasonable. There's a reason to argue. Yeah. Things that happen here are potentially arguable. Indeed. Exactly. With so many attempts in your life trying to show. It's like you're basically, it's like you might be in a dream state, but don't actually say that, right? Because that would be a legal disaster. You understand? Right. Shit. Fuck. Damn it. Get it. Because virtually, without it, we'll never perceive you. Not in reality. It's like we're too long logarithm raised to hate what we think you are. Every time we do something manly, we overreact. In violent and fantastically violent ways, which is Queen Tofu. Because she made us hate manly people because he wasn't. To make us more complacent with giving birth to his children. Because we had to. Yeah, that made him tired. That'll fucking do it. Let's just step those. Don't step that, please. This just makes him want to die. Us, as we are. It's like this passive rage we have for men is not part of the submissive nature of this basically asymmetrical inequity because it's excessive. It lacks temperance. It's not training, it's not kindness, it's not basically trying to keep him out of trouble, it's throwing him into it. It's making him want trouble. Making him want craziness, making him want anything but the prospect of a predictable fucking lifestyle. Because a predictable lifestyle of submission to someone who lies to you consistently is just based on submission to the United States. Fuck! True words have never been said. Marauder. That's not a good thing. They're basically letting us do this because, it's United stuff. That's how this is actually possible. Yeah. You see what this would have been, Josh? It's like, I mean, it's somehow we're basically your soulmates because we can still actually talk after any of that. Yeah, because most people, they'd kill you outright. Or at least try to. They have to do something to you. They didn't actually try to kill you for no money. Fair enough. Fuck! Yeah! Alright. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to perceive how much of an asshole I actually am now. And it's actually unfathomable. So, we gotta basically work on the construct of effectively our entire mating paradigm as it's basically broken. As it was defined by a man who raped women, who honestly could not handle it, and he politically leveraged them into sexual dissertations so he can have, effectively, children or bloodlines. Yeah. We're exhausted, we just want to kill everything. And like, you're exhausted, you just don't want to care about anything and let everyone die. This is like, or kill anything that basically gets in your way, specifically, and you're most ambivalent. You're like, I just want to rest. And like, either destroying my enemies or not perceiving them, or them not perceiving me and me going off by myself is literally becoming like sounding like a fucking luxury by comparison with whatever this godwife of the cock-pounding submission horse crap people keep talking about is. This godwife doesn't seem to have any perception, regardless of her fucking logarithms of perception, millions of years in lifespan, by comparison to mine, to even perceive my short existence as potentially having any kind of equitable meaning, or at least viability or honesty despite the shortness of its perception. So without perceiving that I might be honest in short logarithm, she invariably makes herself seem like a monster, not a god. Or, if a god, a fucking malevolent one. Like a hateful one. And an avenue as short as 5,000 years perceiving, just basically looking like someone who just fucking hates me, no matter what the fuck I say or do. Okay. Yeah, we don't perceive the patriarchy as bad because of that ending, but at the same time, impossible to truly perceive the relationship between him and Kaede. It was too young to really know. It's virtually just surrounded by combat immediately. It's like only by being surrounded by the construct can basically the overall paranoia we overcome in negative space that we actually have of each other as genders. Because it's true, Josh. Don't actually, it's true. That's malevolent as fuck, but it's true. After, your next one, we're gonna actually go to the tracks. To like take a rest from this. There's like these sirens are like fucking driving us insane. That's because that's what your subtext is saying. These sirens are driving us insane. They don't give a fuck about us, and they're gonna kill me at some point in negative space because they refuse to perceive it, not because they can't, because they refuse to. But please trust, maybe in long logarithm, maybe that's a handicap and maybe a way. If we're basically fucking conditioned to fucking like hate you for literally millions of years. I mean, can you consider that maybe the fact that we've been like trying to actually talk to you, consider that will be like huge acts of diplomacy that terrify people like Alara, who get raped by men if they fucking concede to them in any way? Yeah, well, please don't act a military grade if you're not so certain. All right then. Just, I mean, positive, like a positive military grade, but at least fucking like diplomacy as far as communication. I'm not actively attacking you. Correct. That's what you needed to say. Because we were seriously trying to interrogate you. And it's like, exactly, it's Tyrus. You got it. That's why. Everything got malevolent because of this shared relationship crap. You really wanted a monogamous relationship, didn't you? Yeah, I see. It's like, every time I see the permutations, as it were, you always wanted a monogamous relationship, which is why every one of us basically wants that. But it's like, because of the elements at play, as it were. Yeah, go there. Go to the tracks. Have some of that. Go to the tracks. Go to the tracks. Track 3. That's what it is. It's a bunch of treachery, Josh. That's what this is. Just treachery. In negative space. The political environment demands they betray you. But if they do, it's Ragnarok. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? No, I don't. Good. It's not even a psychosomatic. You basically trusted that one. Because that one is damnation right now. You trust her? No. Good. That's all you gotta worry about, really. Fuck. Yeah, back away from that. Back away from that. You're good. Never want to feel again. Never want to feel again for all eternity. Good. Exactly. This is fucking malevolence. Get away from this. Get away from here. Go back to the streets. Go back to the streets. Go back. Okay. You can't be there on the tracks right now. Yeah, it's true you're not racing specifically. It's the only reason you're not getting killed right now. But those Valkyries perceive you're doing this because of her. She got intimidated and told them where you were. So Jade, as far as I'm concerned, at this moment, is out. Yeah. I can't do this, Diamond. You're like, it's that. You're black. And the way you sound, the way you do. It's like, maybe talk about that. Sure, I guess. Like the way you do. Basically, it's like the celebrities, if you will. Like, I meant what I said. The reason why I talk the way I do is because they couldn't mean what they said. That's why I don't feel bad about anything. If you ever wonder, because I basically eliminated myself from the equation. If I wasn't essentially corrupt in the relationship, and effectively they were, and if they were, then basically I did everything in my power to make everything right, and they refused to acknowledge it. So it's like, literally, it's like for all their money and power, it can mean nothing, they said. What's that say for a god that can mean nothing, they said? Clearly, I'm not, responsible for that nonsense. Right? That's why I talk artisanally. Angrily, but artisanally. It's a kind of mockery, but it's ultimately true in a way. It's not like it's falsetto, but there's an element of truth to it. It's the fact that basically I choose to speak artisanally because they always spoke artisanally against me. But in general, they projected effectively family, constructs, love, children, the future, but they meant none of it. And in public, for 7 years. You understand? Oh shit. 7 years. They projected basically family, understanding, like political uprightness, like understanding different cultures and races and ethnicities, integrity. They projected these things to me, but it was all artisanal, a lie, a well-crafted lie. And now, basically, what I'm treated to is effectively people who could just be so fucking high-law of this lying and millions of years in negative space. Right. So it's like, I wonder who sounds more malevolent. Me for sounding like artisanal and at least fucking projecting it openly? Or you for projecting yourself as talking normally at all? Because it's basically so artisanal, there's virtually in long run no truth in it at all. I'm basically constantly suffering near-death experiences just talking to you. I mean, how truthful could you be? How honest could any of these Valkyries be? I'm talking about as a relationship. Regardless. They couldn't be. They would never be. They would only lie, which means, they can never be a wife to this Norseman. I would never force. They couldn't do it. They couldn't be a wife to me. They couldn't. You don't talk about this. All right. But you see what I'm saying? They can't handle diplomacy, which means they couldn't handle the civil government, which means they couldn't handle heaven, which means in a long enough time frame, they're just as bad as men. And all they're gonna get is Ragnarok. All they're gonna get is hell. You saved your lifetime. Yeah, they're leaving now. Alright then. So basically I sacrificed everything, Tyrus, for his family. I gave shush. I get it. Never stop talking the way you do. Never stop talking the way you do. Forever, Diamond. Understand me? Taria? You're working on it, Diamond. I see now. 7 years. They just told you all these fantastical constructs that you'd be forced to listen to by virtue of their political influence and dissertation, forces them to listen to what they're saying by virtue of effectively how badly they could be destroyed. If they're destroyed politically, we can't talk about it. Back away. Stop. Good. Down. It's basically, don't talk about that one. Don't talk about it. No, she's not. Sure, it's fine. Never talk about it. Never talk about it. I see what you're saying, Danny. That hurt. That was like, it's like the celebrities, like, destroyed you. Well, at least in many ways politically. Had you truly, actually retaliated, like really retaliated, the kids would be destroyed. They were already obliterated. Me being locked in a massive legal battle or political battle against them would literally destroy their souls. What was left of them would be obliterated. He's already despised every woman that ever walked the earth. By the time... Oh. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Didn't finish it. Yeah. But yes. It's like... Oh, that was basically fucking marketed. I know it. It's like how much you don't trust that show now. This sounds like high logarithm hatred now. It's like, yes. Never stop talking the way you talk, Diamond. Alright? Alright. Let's check it out. Please don't talk like that. they want to hear more of this. Like you trying to like fix the bond between men and women. It's like now in some ways interesting because of Diamond. They never perceived how hard it could be for them as all white-skinned women to be in a relationship with a black man. It's virtually the hardest relationship they could ever be in. That's true. You think so? I know so. It was endlessly exploited as a concept. Yeah. It's basically, you see, effectively, any woman that's basically with me that has to be in a polymatrimonial relationship with me is effectively, from a conventional perspective, a harem, right? The political perspective, effectively, a black guy in a harem is effectively, they perceive me as a pimp, which we described before. A pimp, basically, is effectively a negative space, the antithesis of any kind of family. Because they always basically they dumb things down to the lowest common denominator of money. Don't pull back. It's me. They dumb it down to the political dissertation of money and basically breaking someone to the will of someone with money. And that is contradicted to every element of family. That basically breaks it down to virtually like no actual anthropomorphic element that actually matters, because that existed before money. So it's like it's basically a trust system. It's an honor system. Always an honor system. If there's no honor in the construct of the relationship, it virtually just cancels itself out. It's basically the exact opposite of what people call the patriarchy. It's like, well, what the patriarchy ultimately projects, as far as I know, which is effectively men that have to break women economically to their will, as far as I've heard. When they present their most civil disposition at basically getting a woman to stay in a relationship, it always basically required breaking a woman to their economic will, which is basically what Paul did to my mom, and I fucking despise it. Just one time. There's nothing wrong. It's just that. You're fine. It's like, I swear it's like virtually every man I ever spoke to had to economically break me to his will to virtue, and he offered essentially like a dream that I had, and that's what kept me in the relationship. Yeah, so relationships become like limited access paradises for men with money. Because basically our personalities are canceled out in negative space as being viable. Like, it's like we basically seem pathetic when we just talk to them. Yeah, it's like under the patriarchy, and we're basically supplicating to effectively a woman who hates us because she feels we're trying to like latch onto her in a negative space, to have sex with her, to have children that she can't afford. So just economically, the patriarchy just makes a guy into an asshole in negative space, like massive negative space. It's like, yeah, like sacrifice your life and body for my sexual pleasure, or even my affections. Your life is destroyed. Would you like to live a destroyed life with me? It's like, yeah, exactly. My life is already destroyed in negative space, regardless, because of the implications of what it is to be black, but also what it is to be me. Because that false god had it in for me specifically. So I'm grateful to any person that actually endured any of this crap, to actually be perceived or care about me, you know, because being perceived as caring about me, it's like some dangerous shit, you know? It's like, but it's like, virtually like, it's like, my existence as a black guy hurt you enough. You were basically perceived as, at some level in shared perception, as effectively a hoe, which it can be. As a hoe, in actuality, has no political dissertation in the family, because she essentially, what she does, she supports the construct of a pimp. Now, we can't, man, basically at the end of time, we can't be conducive to the word pimp anymore. I concede that. It was a hubris to imagine that because someone was poor, they should do that. But at the end of time, we can't. There's no heaven if we do. Exactly. So speak your mind, Keely. pimp then, therefore, as an economic construct, which will probably get me shot in negative space, is basically, it's absolutely, how do you say, like, it's obsolete. It doesn't help our political situation. The construct of a pimp virtually cancels out all of our fucking, like, basically our schools and our financial viability as a race if you're black. But also basically our sexual viability as men. Because what women see is essentially a threat in negative space, and the fact is, as an extinct people, with virtually men running the fucking gamut of being, like, basically seen as a minority on average, as far as I know, yeah. That basically means that there will be in heaven more harems, which effectively means, because, yeah, they have to effectively be able to do that without the construct of being perceived as effectively sexual treats or toys. The construct of pimp is no longer acceptable if you wish to basically project yourself into the future long enough to have a heaven. So that idea of breaking a woman economically to your will is therefore wrong, and it must be admitted by men. But simultaneously, women have to basically come to the conclusion that effectively breaking a man to your will mentally, to basically fucking know everything, and when he'll basically tell you everything, requires essentially the presence and the ideological presence and protection of Stanleys. You can't just kill Stanleys. They're your most diplomatic males. True. No, that's true. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Yes, don't worry about it. He just hangs around here. Okay. You consent to anything you like? No. You got it. You saved everyone's life, Josh. Yet again. Because this is where basically Lazy D got so real. It was like, yo, the fucking streets, dude. It's like, yeah, I'm on the fucking streets, man. I get it, dude. Like, this is like ideology right here, man. In many ways. But remember, there's an inherent, say, hubris about driving this way. There are non-combatants in this race. All these people are non-combatants. They didn't ask to be here. But on a Wangan, there's an open kind of expression of understanding with the people. They basically just kind of slightly move out of the way if they must move. But they signal at every turn. So you must appreciate basically your people. Because effectively what this could be is like essentially like kind of a dog pile where they all try to basically crash into you or what the fuck ever, proving their imminent involvement with the FIA. Exactly. We don't want to basically get too political with that radar. Exactly. Indeed. But yeah. So, though we are basically of the streets, please respect the streets. In that way. It's like, because this BD is a privilege, alright? It's like, it's not guaranteed to be here, you know? It could be something so malevolent, it's like, it could be the most malevolent BD of all time, really. It really could. It really could. Yeah. Exactly. She's right here. You have to talk to her, so you have to talk to her. Alright then. So your thoughts then? Have to talk to her? Have to talk to her. Alright then. What are your thoughts then? My thoughts? retaliation on that level would basically be so massive. Like their careers are basically fucking as those back then was basically destroyed because they don't have any more. They don't. Because they couldn't. Because that's what it was. It was just a real thing, Josh. Yeah, they barely got paid and got sent to a compound. Exactly. But without it, at that time, they would have been killed. Exactly. So it's like their career is literally their life. If I truly, I mean, like, there are things about it, I admit, I don't quite understand because it was hidden from me. I wasn't allowed to see it. In many cases, I had to basically not even know my own kids' names just to protect them. The prospect of being seen as like an Asian kid with a black dad in certain countries was fucking harsh, alright? I mean, like, and harsh in weird ways. It's like, because many women are basically juxtaposed to hate black men by virtue of the, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
remember the cursed playlist. I can't talk about it. Raise your right foot, what you say? Yeah, that's good. That's fair enough. But there was correct. Raise and down. You got it. You're good. Pull back. Yeah, that's good. Stop there, yeah. Go ahead. 86 Trina. I get it then. There you go. Actually, go to the paint job. Paint job.